Hello, beautiful people. Today is 13th of May. My name is Sahil, and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Guys, today we will learn from history as how India used a crisis for its opportunity. And this crisis was Y2K glitch or the millennium bug. Friends, this was the crisis in computing. Now, as in 1960s, computers were being designed in order to save the memory. Dates were assigned by using just last two digits. For example, year 1975 will just be represented as 75. Now, as 1999 came and we were stepping in 2000, the date will change to 00. And in this capacity, computer will not be able to distinguish year 1900 with the year 2000. And in this context, all the systems which depend on automated entries will crash, as computers will not identify that which event belongs to 1900 and which belongs to 2000, and automatic entries will go haywire. Now the entire world was in crisis, and nearly 600 billion dollars in that time were already being spent by the countries. Now all over the IT engineers were struck with this problem. And guys, at this point of time, India's IT sector contributed only 1.7% into the GDP. Now, India responded by providing the large number of skilled technicians and IT engineers. The problem was solved, and by after this year 2000, India's IT skilled workforce demand increased so much that today India's service sector is contributing more than 60% to GDP, and only IT sector is contributing nearly 8%. So guys, in 1999 we showed to the world the IT strength of India, and now 2020 is the year when we show to the world the manufacturing strength of India. And this is the time that government should start with the Make in India Reboot 2.0 version, which is actually a reboot. And again, the crisis of coronavirus can be used as an opportunity into the manufacturing sector. So guys, please use this into your GS paper number 3 as well as your essay. Now we'll start with the analysis. Friends, this is the page number 1 of the Hindu newspaper, and the first news item that we'll see here is the 20 lakh crore economic stimulus package which has been launched by the Prime Minister yesterday. So, friends, into the Prime Minister's address, mainly three things came out. First is the Lockdown 4.0, where certain restrictions will still apply. However, slowly, the economy will be opened up. However, the details of Lockdown 4.0 are still awaited, so we will not be able to talk much more on that particular issue. Second is the economic package worth rupees 20 lakh crore, which accounts to nearly 10% of India's GDP. However, this package will also include the earlier package, which was the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, under which 1.7 lakh crore rupees economic package was given, which included things such as additional food allocation, conditional transfers to the households, and all such kind of thing. Now, as we are talking about this economic package, from this thing we will go to the third pillar, that was self reliant India or Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, guys, this 20 lakh crore economic package will be directed to make India as self reliant or Atmanirbhar, and this package will include the assistance for the vulnerable section, migrant, MSME sector, India's manufacturing sector, service sector, everybody. Guys, however, the economic details of this package will be delivered in the mean course of time by the finance minister, so exact details are still awaited. Friends, as we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, it will rest on five pillars, and the first pillar is economy. Guys, here the focus will be made on to the phenomenal jump into the economic activity, not by bits and pieces. Second is the infrastructure, on which the entire modern India depends, so there will be huge infrastructure creation. Then the third pillar is the technology driven system, where the technology will be infused in all the processes. Then the fourth is using demography. Friends, you know India has one of the youngest population, so this population will be used and their labor fruits will be taken so that economic growth can be achieved. And the fifth is the demand and supply. Guys, India has such large population that if everybody's demand capacity is increased and proportionately the industry's supply capacity is also enhanced, then much needed economic growth will automatically come. So friends, 20 lakh crore rupees economic package will make India as Atmanirbhar, and India will become Atmanirbhar on the basis of these five pillars. However, guys, certain bold economic reforms are needed in these directions, and these reforms are onto certain parameters, such as we need to reform our supply chain, then we need to reform our tax system, we need to reform the system of giving clearances, they should be fast and simple, then the human resource should be enhanced, we need to give them the vocational training, education, they should be healthy, and the fifth is the strong financial system, so the bank's health is also needed. So guys, please remember this entire scenario, very very important for your GS paper number 3. So guys, now we'll move to the next. Now guys, here is one more news item on page number 1, where India has caught in a sticky situation because of US and China dispute over Taiwan. So we'll understand this. Now friends, we'll take a little bit of background first. Guys, Taiwan first of all is called as Republic of China, whereas China is called as People's Republic of China. So both the have the name China in them. Now a question comes that who is the real China? Is the China the real China or the Taiwan the real China? That is the thing. Now guys, in this background there is one China policy, and this one China policy is the policy of China, where China says that we are the real China, and the Taiwan is nothing but Taiwan is our part. However, in the Taiwan, the trend of Taiwanization is gaining much more influence into the recent years. According to the Taiwanization, they says that the Taiwan is a sovereign and independent nation, and it has nothing to do with the China. So they say that the China is a separate entity and Taiwan is a separate entity. However, guys, in Taiwan, one more trend is there which says that no, we are integral, but the real China is not the mainland China but the Taiwan. So guys, two trends are there into the Taiwan also. One believe that there is one China, but that real China is Taiwan. Other says that no, we are separate, one is Taiwan and one is China. However, in China there is one version, that is one China policy, which believes that yes, only one China, but that one China is the mainland China. Now friends, this is all their own version of story. Now if we come to the real life situation, then it is known that the mainland China or the People's Republic of China is more powerful, and by using its power's economic clout, China has avoided the major countries of the world to form the independent diplomatic relation with the Taiwan. And guys, same goes for the multilateral institutions such as United Nations. Now, friends, any sovereign nation can apply for the membership of United Nations, and China is obviously the member of United Nations. Now, China says that when we are the member of United Nations, what is the need to include the Taiwan into the United Nations? Because Taiwan, at the end of the day, is not an independent country; rather, it is the part of China. So, when we are participating in United Nations, automatically Taiwan is represented, so no need to admit Taiwan as an independent nation. Now, as we come to the WHO is a specialized body of UN, and if you want to be the member of WHO, you need to be the member of UN, United Nations. Now guys, as Taiwan is not the member of United Nations, similarly Taiwan is also not the member of WHO. However, into the back years, Taiwan has been given some observer status as WHO, but now Taiwan is not even the observer at WHO, so Taiwan is not there. And now, as the present crisis is going on, it is said that the Taiwan should be included in WHO because it direly needs the health assistance. Moreover, Taiwan has performed wonderfully into the containment of the crisis and is being praised all over the world, and it says that due to the contribution it should be included in WHO, but still the opposition is coming from the China that it should not be done. Now guys, if we see the concerns of USA, now guys, USA, in order to counter China, recognizes that Taiwan should be included into the United Nations as well as into the WHO. But China is against this particular thing. Now guys, coming to WHO. Now under WHO, there is World Health Assembly, which is the highest decision making body of WHO. Guys, this WHA consists the representatives from all the member states of WHO. So it is the most empowered body. And guys, World Health Assembly appoints an executive board, and this executive board will take the major important decisions. Now guys, in this executive board there is a position of the chairperson, and now into the 2020 May, India will be elected as the chairperson of the executive board, which is under the World Health Assembly. So now a problem comes to India that what the India's will be response with respect to the Taiwan. Will India be admitting Taiwan as an observer status into the WHO or will not? So guys, here India is confused because on one hand India maintains its full diplomatic relation with the China, but owing to the sympathy towards the Taiwan, it is also legitimate that the Taiwan should also be admitted to the WHO because it also needs the health assistance. Now if it recognizes Taiwan, then there is a problem because then the China will become angry. However, if it does not recognizes Taiwan, then India's soft power and all that kind of thing will be suffering a erosion. So a very much problematic thing is here. So guys, this is all about this entire controversy. Now we'll go to the next. Now guys, here's one more news item where the same person has been given the charge of the industries department as well as the labor department. Now guys, the person into the news will not use the name but has been appointed as the secretary for the labor department, and at the same time he is serving as a principal secretary for the commerce and industries. Now guys, the problem here is the conflict of interest. Now, friends, Karnataka is rethinking the labor laws onto the lines of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. And in this direction, certain reforms that are being suggested are that the Factories Act should increase the working hours from 8 to 12. Then it has been recommended that there should be postponement of the implementation of the revision of Minimum Wages Act. After that, it has also been suggested that the dearness allowance should also not be increased, as well as the provident fund and the ESI contribution should also not be given for the 3 months by the industries. Now guys, here the relief are being given to the industries, but that relief is coming at the cost of the labor class, which is not good. Moreover guys, when the same person will be representing both the labor as well as industries, then it is not sure as how he will be able to do the justice. Moreover guys, when we are talking about the labor concerns, then there is the violation of certain DPSPs. I will just name which DPSPs are being violated. There is violation of article number 38, violation of article number 39E, violation of article number 42 and 43. So guys, you can look it up into your polity book and just try to derive as how these articles are being violated. Moreover, there is one more problem. Yesterday, if you remember, we discussed the ILO convention number 144. Please look it if you don't remember. Now under ILO convention 144, there are the tripartite agreements which should be there before bringing any change. Now in a tripartite agreement there are three parties: employer, there should be the representation of the employee, and the government. Now guys, when the same person is in the church in charge of the labor also, which represents the employee, and the industries also, which represents the employer, then how the tripartite agreement can be followed? So there are large number of concerns here, and we can use this particular example as a case study, as how the crisis of governance are still there, which leads to the ineffective implementation of the international protocols, as well as it leads to the crisis of governance. So friends, this was all. Now we'll move to the next. Now, guys, just for the reference, on page number 5, there's a small news where the National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, has developed a reusable face shield. And this reusable face shield could be used for 90 to 100 times just by simply washing it by the soap solution or by dropping some droplets of sanitizer. Now, guys, this face shield cost as low as rupees 12, and as the fastening belt is made up of a yoga mat, it is more convenient to be worn for the long hours. Now, as it is being said that the health line workers are getting infected due to the lack of the PPEs, therefore in this direction such low cost PPE gears could help in safeguarding the frontline health workers. Moreover friends, there is one more development where the Kerala Choir Corporation has also developed a COVID mat. This particular mat has a disinfectant properties and can be kept just before the entrance, whereby people can mop their feet so that when they enter, no virus strains can come along with them. So these are certain referential news items, and now we'll go to the next. Now, friends, we are into the editorial section, and the first editorial talks about the shortcomings of the jam. Now, friends, first of all, before going into the editorial, if we talks about the JAM, then it stands for Jandhan, Aadhaar, and Mobile. And the idea of JAM Trinity was elaborated into the 2015 economic survey. Now, guys, the JAM Trinity is Government of India's long-term approach. In this, what will happen? Phase number one, government will open the bank account of the people under the scheme that is Jan Dhan Yojana. Then number two, government will link all these bank accounts with the Aadhaar, and as they are linked with the Aadhaar, if you simply know the Aadhaar number of a person, you can transfer the money to the bank account of a person. So guys, this Aadhaar number seeding will come in handy when we need to transfer the pensions, the subsidies, etc. to the bank account. Just by seeing the Aadhaar number of the poor people, you can transfer the money to the bank account. Then on to the third phase came the concept of the mobile. Now, here the mobile payment systems were to be developed so that when the person is receiving the subsidy into his bank account, simply by mobile he can do the transactions and he should not go to the bank to physically draw the money. Moreover, a person's mobile number and his bank account should also be linked so that only if you know the mobile number of a person, you can transfer the money to the bank account. And guys, in this particular backend, applications such as Bheem have also been developed. Now, guys, through Bheem, you can transfer the money. Now, we'll take one example. Now, guys, he is Mr. Ramu, and now he receives the subsidy from the government. Earlier, he were getting the cash subsidy, but there was a huge corruption. Now, what has happened? Government opened his bank account by the Jandhan Yojana, and now he is receiving the subsidy into his bank account. Government only sees his Aadhaar number, and by Aadhaar numbers transfers the subsidy into the bank account. Now, Ramu needs certain essential items from a nearby grocery shop. He needs the pulses, wheat, rice, all these kind of things. Now, what he will do? He simply need to open his mobile phone, and by using the portal such as Bheem and other, he will directly transfer the money to the shopkeeper and he will give him the food. So guys, it has been seen that the system is so easily conceded. Moreover, guys, government also decided that it will come with the universal basic income, where some amount of money will be given to everybody irrespective of any conditions attached. Now when these UBI payment will be given, then what you need to do, you just simply need to find out the Aadhaar details of a person group, and by Aadhaar details that entire group will be given the money. So the entire process was very much good. But friends, the editorial raises certain questions, and it says that it might look very rosy and very good into the theory, but practically it is very much efficient. Now, what has happened? As the lockdown was imposed, it was believed that people will directly receive the money into their bank account, and by mobile they will transact, and there will be no problem. That was the idea here. But what happened? People are going physically to the bank, they are trying to physically withdraw their cash, or through the banking correspondence they are withdrawing their cash, and no benefit of this entire exercise is being seen now. So guys, why this problem happened? Now first of all, before going into the problem, if we see that when the lockdown began, government came with the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, and under this it was said that 500 rupees will be given to the Jan Dhan Yojana female account holders. Now guys, we also know that into the jam trinity the first word is J, so the chain starts from the Jan Dhan accounts, but the problem lies here again. Now, the first problem is that when the Jan Dhan Yojana was announced, a large number of Jan Dhan accounts were opened. But these are the government data that by March 2017, the 40% of the bank accounts were dormant. And now, guys, when the bank accounts were dormant, how the money will transferred to the bank accounts? Second problem is that when these accounts are being opened at that point of time, the eKYC was not being carried, the seeding of mobile number were not carried, and proper or protocols were not followed, due to which again the large number of bank accounts became unoperational, and due to that they became dormant. Then the third problem is of the exclusion error. So much publicity of Jandhan was done, but still there are large number of women who are poor, but they still don't have Jandhan account. And according to the study by the Yale University, less than 50% of women have the Jandhan account, so exclusion is there. And then the fourth problem is the problem of ghost inclusion. Now guys, Jandhan Yojana was for everybody, even the people from the middle income group also opened their Jandhan account. So today the people into the middle income group for whom the subsidy is not being meant, they are also having the account. So guys, what will happen when the government will start transferring the money? First of all, as large number of accounts are dormant, money will not go. Secondly, as still women don't have account, women money again will not reach. Then thirdly, as certain people who were not poor but they opened the Jandhan account, money will reach to them who were not the intended beneficiaries right now. And now guys, after all these things, there comes the technological glitches. Now guys, the payment method or the payment technology which is used is the Aadhaar payment bridge system and the Aadhaar enabled payment system. But due to the surge into the transaction, there are large glitches and often the transaction is not completed. So fine, we have seen why the problem is there, but then what could be the solution in this particular regard? So guys, according to the article, the solution could have been the identification of beneficiaries by the MG Narega list. Now guys, it is very much clear that the MG Narega people are poor, so therefore MG Narega list is inclined with the people who right now urgently require the social security benefit. So as I told you, in Jadhan there are poor also and the middle class also, but we right now intend to give the subsidy to the poor. So into the MG Narega only the poor are there who need the social security benefit, so the problem of inclusion error will not be there. Secondly, there was one more error, that was the exclusion error. Guys, many a times the women into the Jandan Yojana, they have not opened the account even when they are the poor, so they will not be receiving the money. But into the MG Narega scheme, all the poor people are identified by the Gram Sabha and by the Panchayat, so they are obviously be having a MG Narega card. So here by this MG Narega benefit list, we can identify all the people, so the problem of exclusion will also not be there. Now, after that, when we see the giving money under the MG Narega list, then under this, the spot payment into the cash are given. Now, as the banks are crowded and banks are not operational fully due to the lockdown, such kind of method will actually be helping right now, and it is shown success into the states of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, as well as Tamil Nadu. So, right now, for the time being, rather going with the jam, we should go by the MG Narega beneficiary list. So guys, this was all about this. Now we'll move to the next. Now guys, these two editorials are talking about cooperative federalism and how it is being bypassed into the name of present crisis. Now guys, when we talk about federalism, then it is a political idea which believes that there should be at least two tiers of government, that is center and the state, and both the tiers should be independent of each other and should be supreme in their own sphere. And guys, when we talk about federations, then the USA is one of the good example of a federation or federalism. However, when the Constituent Assembly of India started to frame the constitution, it also was of a belief that India should be adopting a kind of a federalism. But due to the exigency of the time, we were not able to make a state supremely independent due to weak national integrity. Therefore, we adopted the system of the strong center, and therefore in this direction came a kind of a cooperative federalism. Now guys, we call it as a cooperative federalism because there is a harmonious relation between the center and the state, and both cooperate with each other in order to facilitate the political mechanism. And guys, further into the direction of federalism, we also made the provision of seventh schedule, under which three lists have been given. List number one is union list, where only parliament can make law. List number two is state list, where the state can make law. And the list number three is concurrent list, where both can make the law. So guys, by union list and state list, we see that the federalism has been adopted. But into the concurrent list, as both can make the law and a harmony is needed, we can see that there is a cooperative federalism. Moreover guys, apart from this thing also, there is article number 248, which provides that the subject which is not provided into any of the list, on that subject the law can be made by the parliament. So in this direction, the residuary power of legislation is given to the parliament. So by this particular article number 248, we can see that the constitution makers have favored a kind of a strong center also, where the federalism little bit goes for a compromise. So guys, these all are the provisions into the constitution, but at the end of the day, it is the harmonious relation between the center and the state which will run the political machinery, and their coordination is required, and it was believed that both will cooperate with each other also. But guys, reality is far different from the expectation, and it has been seen that often center tries to encroach over the state and in a way dictates its orders to the state, where the federalism goes for a kind of breaching. And now guys, into the present crisis, certain cases as how federalism is being compromised is that number one, center by their own arbitration has classified the uh, territories into the green zone, orange zone, and red zone. Now, guys, with respect to red zone, the center has classified the entire districts as red zone when the cases are coming only from one particular region. And when the entire district is classified as a red zone, then the economic activities, however little they are going, they are also seized. And in this particular direction, there is a problem. Now second example we can take up of Kerala. Now guys, Kerala was a top performer into the control of the pandemic, and when it tried to reopen their economy into the mid of April, central government sent an advisory and stopped them by doing this particular thing, even when the Kerala was a performer and was in well capacity to do that particular thing. Moreover guys, thirdly we can see that central government has made the PM cares fund, and the people who are donating under the PM care fund can also take the exemption under the CSR. So guys, the companies, they need to perform the corporate social responsibility. A part of their profit is to given under CSR, and if you have given money under PM cares, then you can call it as a CSR. However, same thing has not been done for the chief minister's relief fund. Now guys, obviously a person will donate to the PM cares because there the funding will be qualified as a CSR exempted, but here it will not be qualified. So in this way, much money is not coming into the CM relief fund. Moreover, there are even large miseries with respect to the state because their the pipes of revenue has been dried and don't have much options, whereas a center has much larger option of raising money by both traditional and non-traditional means. Now guys, if we explore the canons of the central government, or from where the central government is getting the power to do all this thing, then we will find that the source of power is the Disaster Management Act of 2005. Now this particular act has been made by parliament. Why this particular act has been made by parliament? Because as I told you that the subjects which are not mentioned anywhere, according to article number 248, those subjects belong to the parliament. And guys, as the word disaster is not mentioned in any of the list, so therefore parliament made a law onto the disaster, which is called as the Disaster Management Act. So friends, in this particular direction the parliament is right, they can make the law. Secondly, as the definition of disaster is very much wide, so the pandemic of COVID-19 will also be included into the disaster, so that they are right. But guys, apart from this particular thing, there are certain more angles. First of all, if we see the entry number 6 into the list number 2, then there the word health and sanitation have been mentioned. It means both of them are the subject under the state list. So therefore parliament cannot unilaterally give all the direction to the state government with respect to the management of health and sanitation. Secondly, if we look at the entry number 29 of list number 3, then it has been found that the control of the infectious disease have been written here. So guys, as list 3 is a concurrent list, it means both parliament as well as the state can make the law with respect to the infectious diseases. So guys, again, parliament's unilateral direction to the state is not justified. Then, thirdly, there is already an existing act, that is Epidemic Disease Act 1897, which is specifically meant for the pandemic such as COVID-19. But what has been happened under the Epidemic Disease Act, major power is given to the state with respect to the control of epidemic. Therefore, deliberately the central government is not using the Epidemic Disease Act because here the center does not have that much of power and is deliberately using the Disaster Management Act. So again, certain doubts are raised onto the intention of the center. And guys, fourthly, even if we consider the scope for Disaster Management Act, then there are two sections which we will read. First is section number 6 and other is section number 11. Now guys, under section number 11, there is a provision that a national plan should be made, and in this national plan, the deliberations from the state government also to be given, and in respect of this national plan, the direction to the state government can be given. However, as the deliberation of state government was also considered into the national plan, whatever direction is being given to the state, we will consider that it has the backing of the state also. But there is one more section, that is number 6. Under this particular thing, center can directly give the binding guidelines to the center without the national plan, and the center government is using the section number 6 and not the section number 11 to do this particular thing. So friends, in all these ways, center is overpowering the mandate of the state government. So friends, please remember all these articles with respect to the center state relation. This was all. Now we'll go to the next. Now, guys, we are taking an editorial written by the Vice President of India, and it talks about the evolution and utility of second chamber, that is Rajya Sabha. It is a two series article. One article was published yesterday, and the one article is published today. So, holistically, we'll see both. Now, guys, if we talk about the Rajya Sabha, then Rajya Sabha is also called as a Council of States or the Upper House. Now, guys, according to the idea of bicameralism, the legislature should have two chambers, that is an upper house and a lower house. Now, these two houses are there so that all the bills and legislations can pass separately from them, and in such a process, so much of deliberation and the brainstorming is carried that unwarranted and hasty legislations could be avoided. And such a thing has also been reaffirmed by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay in their essay, The Federalist. Moreover, guys, the same thing is again said by the Montesquieu, the French philosopher who gave the theory of separation of powers. Now, guys, as we see the roots of the Rajya Sabha, then we will find that the present parliament was earlier called as the central legislature, and this central legislature into the modern present form came in existence after 1919, when the bicameralism was introduced in India. So guys, there became two chambers. One was the upper house and other is the lower house. Now the time proceeded, and as India got independence in 1947, we have to decide that what should be the form of our future legislature. Should it be the bicameralism as it is going on the right now, or it should be the unicameralism where there should be the only one house? Now friends, it though it was very much sure that the bicameralism into the existing form which was going on since 1919 will not be there, because it was very much restricted. Only the wealthy landowners had the right to vote. Women did not had the right to get entry into the Rajya Sabha, so this was not required. So bicameralism, either reformed bicameralism or the unicameralism. In this direction, various debates occurred, and different people gave their own versions at what should be the case. And in this direction, we will see that what different statement of that time said. Guys, Muhammad Tahir said that Rajya Sabha is a relic of imperialism and therefore should not be brought. Then Professor S. Saxena said that the Rajya Sabha is like a clog in the wheel, because every time it obstructs the legislation and meaningful legislation does not come into the time. So therefore, again, he also said that should not be brought. Whereas on the other hand, Naziruddin Ahmed, he said that Rajya Sabha is a house which will provide a second thought. Therefore, it will avoid the hasty kind of legislation. Therefore, it should be brought. And M. Iyengar also said that by the Rajya Sabha, the genius of people or the experienced people could enter into the house and they can give their wisdom, their valuable advice. So, therefore, we should bring the Rajya Sabha. So, guys, in a way, the constituent assembly was divided whether we should bring Rajya Sabha or not. And in this debate enters Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and he said that the parliament which we are creating will not only be the legislative house, rather it needs to be the deliberative body. So we need to have a house where the brainstorming can be done, and therefore Rajya Sabha or a second chamber should be needed. So guys, seeing all these debates, finally we adopted the Rajya Sabha and it came in existence in 1952. So now with the coming of Rajya Sabha, two chambers were created. One is the upper house and other is the lower house. Now, though the houses were equal in the most of the terms, but there are still certain differences in both the houses. For example, money bill or finance bill can only be raised into the Lok Sabha, whereas Rajya Sabha has exclusive power that if any law is to be made onto the state subject, then approval for that particular thing can only be raised into the Rajya Sabha. Moreover, Rajya Sabha can suggest the creation of new all India services. So guys, these powers were exclusive is to the Rajya Sabha, whereas power to introduce money bill and financial bill is there with the Lok Sabha. Now, as the time passed, a kind of a opinion started to be generated that the Rajya Sabha works as an obstructionist house as it stops the legislation. And now, if we see why Rajya Sabha obstructs the house, then we find a reason. Because often what happens in Lok Sabha, the government can have the majority, but in Rajya Sabha, often government does not have the majority. And since the bill needs to be passed from both the houses, and in Rajya Sabha majority is not there, often the Rajya Sabha obstructs the house. Now, guys, if we see the election process of Rajya Sabha, then we will find that after every 2 years, one third of members are elected in Rajya Sabha, and continuously the election process goes on. And in this direction, it often can happen that in Lok Sabha government can have the majority, but in Rajya Sabha there is no majority, and due to this thing the obstruction is caused. So in this direction, if we make an analysis, then we will find that since 1952 it is 68 years and Rajya Sabha is functioning, and out of these 68 years, only for 29 years the ruling government has majority into the Rajya Sabha, whereas for 39 years there was no majority of ruling government into the Rajya Sabha. But also then it has been found that Rajya Sabha has passed 3857 bills. Now, guys, when the larger chunk of time there was no majority in Rajya Sabha, how the bills were passed if Rajya Sabha is an obstructionist? Now, this was about Rajya Sabha, but at the same time, Lok Sabha has also did a large number of things in order to bypass Rajya Sabha. For example, in 1952, Rajya Sabha members were not included into the Public Account Committee, and various such other times also Rajya Sabha has been degraded. Now, guys, if we talk, then the Lok Sabha also held for three joint sittings. Now, what happens whenever a bill obstructs? Then there is a provision of joint sitting. But in joint sitting, only Lok Sabha wins because it has a larger majority. So, three times joint sittings have been held. First time it was held in 1961 because of the dowry prohibition bill. Second time it held in 1978 for banking service bill, and third time it held in 2002 for the prevention of terrorism bill. So by passing the joint sitting, anyhow the Lok Sabha prevailed over the Rajya Sabha. Now, guys, when we are talking about the Rajya Sabha powers, then in terms of the money bill, Rajya Sabha can stop a bill for maximum 14 days, after which the bill has to be passed with or without amendments. But at the same time, it depends on the Lok Sabha whether it will accept or will not accept the amendments. And Rajya Sabha had also done this thing, and government has also behaved differently. Sometimes it accepted the amendment, other time it did not accepted the. Now, just the reason for giving all this information is such that it does not depends whether the ruling government had the majority into the Rajya Sabha or not. Rajya Sabha is performing consistently. Even when the majority was there, Rajya Sabha had shown the reservation and had not passed the bill. And even when the majority was not there, Rajya Sabha had passed the bill. So the blanket tag such as it always obstructs is not good. Moreover, guys, due to the Rajya Sabha's attitude, many a times the legislation have also been raised into the Lok Sabha for the abolition of Rajya Sabha, and for many time resolutions to remove Rajya Sabha has been raised. So first was in 1954, then it was in 1971, then 72, and then 75. And if we take the example of the present Lok Sabha, then we will find that the present government is also not having the majority into the Rajya Sabha, but still Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha had come together and passed various historic legislations such as GST, Bankruptcy Code, Triple Talaq Bill, Unlawful Activities Bill, Reorganization of J&K, etc. Therefore, again, the tag of Rajya Sabha as only being obstructionist is not right. Now, guys, if we are talking about the productivity of Rajya Sabha, then also there are certain numbers. Now, till 1997, 100% productivity into the Rajya Sabha has been observed. But after this thing, we can see that the trends of disruptions are coming. And for 1998 to 2004, the productivity was 87%. And in 2015 to 2019, it further fell, and now the productivity is 61%. So we can see that as the time is passing, the productivity of Rajya Sabha is also falling. Now, talking about these numbers, though time on the legislation and the bill is the same, it has not been reduced, but the time has been reduced with respect to the question hours, calling attention notices, etc. And guys, all these functions are the supervisory functions, and if their time is reducing, it means that the supervisory role of Rajya Sabha is decreasing. And guys, the time here has been reduced because the frequent disruptions, and particularly when the question hour is going, that question hour is disrupted, due to which the time has been reduced. However, there are certain good things also. Now the Rajya Sabha is spending more time into the deliberative activities, and as deliberations take under the short duration discussion 0 hour budget, their time has been increased, and it was all time high in 2015 and 19, when it stood as at 46.59%. So here Rajya Sabha is performing good. And guys, finally, into the conclusion, we can say that Rajya Sabha is a very good attachment to the Indian Parliament, and both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha should come together, resolve their disputes amicably, and brainstorm the issues so that public welfare can be given the highest priority. So, guys, this was all about this particular article. Now we'll move to the next. Now, friends, into the news, there is a mention of the Pangong Tso Lake. Now, first of all, Pangong Tso Lake is located into the Ladakh. And now, why the mention of Pangong Tso is there? Because recently there was the standoff between the Indian troops and the Chinese troops along this Pangong Tso border, which is situated near the line of actual control, which is acts as a boundary between India on one side and China on one side. Now, it was said that during this time, certain of the airplanes or the aircrafts ventured into each other's territory. However, now a clarification has been made that no airspace violation was there when these standoffs occurred. Now, guys, the one standoff occurred around the Pangong Tso, and the one more standoff occurred that was around the Nakula in Sikkim. So, guys, please remember two locations. Nakula, it is in Sikkim, and the Pangong Tso, it is a lake in Ladakh. Now, guys, when we talk about Pangong Tso, at many a places it has been written that it is a freshwater lake. Some places it has been written that it is a saltwater lake. But one part of the lake has fresh water, that is the eastern part, whereas the western part of the lake has a salt water. So the entire lake is having neither fresh neither salt water, but a brackish kind of water. Please keep it into your mind. And guys, when we talk about Nakula Pass, then Nakula Pass lies near the Cholamu, which is the source of a Tista River, and it is situated at nearly 5,000 meter of height. Now, guys, apart from Nakula, there is also Nathula and Jelepla Pass into the Sikkim. Now, guys, one more thing, why this clarification has been given? Because according to the Agreement on Maintenance of Peace and Tranquility along the LACN India China border 1996, it is an agreement. According to this, combat aircraft etc. shall not fly within a 10-kilometer range of the LAC. So, therefore, the clarification has been given. Now, friends, here two specimens have been given which have given the GI tag. One is the Sohrai kohvar painting, and other is the Telia rumal. So both of them have got the GI tag. Now, if we talk about the Sohrai kohvar painting, then this particular painting is made particularly into the Hazaribagh region of the Jharkhand, and these paintings are drawn on the special occasions by the tribal women, such as the occasion of harvest and marriage. Now, guys, into these paintings, the natural colors are used. Moreover, one more point, these paintings are type of murals. Now, murals means that they are executed on the wall. And guys, the figure of these paintings are lines, dot, animal figures, plants, and some religious icons. And the second we are talking about is the Telia Rumal. Now, guys, this Telia Rumal is principally made in only three colors, that is red, black, and the white color. And if we talk about the manufacturing process, then the Telia Rumal can only be created by using the traditional handlooms, otherwise, the quality will be lost. And it was very popular into the Nizam dynasty, and it was a symbol of a kind of royalty. So, guys, these were the two items which were got a GI tag. Now, guys, this is all about the today's newspaper discussion. I hope you are liking our discussion. Thank you so much.